Welcome to Reality Hunt Club. This webisode we're going to talk about trespassers and thieves. Now these two things just drive me nuts. Here we are, we spend all this money on property, you know, tens of thousands of dollars, and we spend all this money on equipment, and people just come in here and either steal it or just trespass or what, and just no common courtesy whatsoever. So we get up here on this feed station where I'm at today, okay, and we're missing a camera. Somebody stole one of our trail cameras, and we've had 4 cameras stolen in the last 4 years, so we're averaging about 1 per year. And the camera was on the tree. I'll show you like it was. That's one that we're putting back up. It was on the tree like that, okay, and we get here and now it's gone. So the camera was locked. The camera was locked up, and there was somebody came in here with some bolt cutters and cut our lock and took our camera. Luckily they didn't take our feeder, nor did they take our deer stand up there or our ladder stand or anything else. But this is a piece of property that's on the edge, and our property is laid out. I mean, we have close to 11, 12 different gates, so we're spread out over a 3-mile area, and we have problems with people on there. We've had a feeder stolen before. We've never had a tree stand stolen that I know of. Just a feeder and about 4 cameras is what we've been losing. And could be the next door hunting club, or it could be the neighbors living right down the road, or it could be somebody just trespassing through. Now our neighbors 2 years ago claimed that they had a couple climber stands stolen in this same area. We have a little piece of property, about 40-50 acres, that jots off on this side of the road, and so this is us. What can you do? There's nothing you can do. What are you gonna do? I mean, are we gonna let thieves dictate how we hunt? I mean, we use the trail cameras to monitor our feeding stations to figure out where we want to hunt. So all you can do is try to catch them, and if you catch them, boy, I tell you, if I catch them, I'm going to prosecute. So stay tuned. We're going to go to another area, and I'll show you where some trespassers are giving us some problems. So I just showed you a feeder station where we just had a camera stolen. So let me show you this. We found this back in turkey season. Apparently there's a bunch of houses back in the backside of our property. Well, during turkey season, we kept hearing 4-wheelers sounded like it was on the club, and I kept saying, no, it can't be on the club. Well, one day we heard some, and we actually drove back to the backside up here, and we walked in here. As you can see, we're from the truck. There is no road here. So walk back here. Sure enough, dudes got them a 4-wheeler trail on our club. So we had to come back here, and we had to put up these signs. Had to put up these signs to keep people out. To keep these people out. They were coming over here. So you can see where they're riding up there. I guess that's their property over there. I guess one day they just assumed that they want to ride on our property. Well, we knew who was doing it. The sun's bad. We knew who was doing it, so went over there and talked to the kid's mom. It was a kid and a grown-up, and actually the grandmother. And we told him to quit riding on our property. And he's like, well, it wasn't hurt nothing. Why won't you let him ride on the property? Then I was like, well, I tell you what, I'll let you ride on the property if you pay $500. And she goes, pay? Why should I have to pay to ride on your property? I said, well, first of all, it's the timber company's property, and we pay them tens of thousands of dollars. And if you want to share with the cost of our you know, price, you're welcome to be a member and just ride the 4-wheelers around for $500. And boy, that just made her mad. So anyway, luckily they hadn't been back. And there's a couple of neighbors down, they ride horses, and he wanted to ride horses on a club, and I told him he'd have to pay $500 a year to ride horses during the off season, and he thought that was stupid too. So all these people up here, they've had this property up here, and they've just been using it however they want to use it, and they just think they're entitled to it. It just drives me nuts. So This is I got 2 more spots to show you, so stay tuned. As I drive over there, I'll show you them too. They get better and better too. And just want to show you the reality. I actually doing this video because I had a guy email me a comment saying that how do we control trespassers. And right when I got that email one night, and the next day we had some more problems with trespassers, and I'll show you that. So it's kind of ironic, the day after he sends me that, boom, I got trespassers, and then 2 weeks later I got a camera stolen. So I guess that's just part of hunting, but boy, I tell you, the person I catch, I'm going to swear out a subpoena, we're going to go to court, I'm going to be there, and they're going to be made an example of around this community. And I'll tell you, we did catch a couple people, and I'll tell you about that in just a little while. Stay tuned. We were up here turkey hunting, and we kept seeing all these little small, look like kids' feet up and down the roads, on the roadbeds. We were turkey hunting. We're like, what in the world? Our kids running up and down the roads? So one day we were turkey hunting, and we drove down one of the roads, and we see a car parked in front of the gate. We're like, what in the world? So we blocked the car in, and we start looking around. I think somebody's, you know, in there turkey hunting, trespassing. We call the sheriff's deputy. Sheriff deputy comes out, and he's like, well, I don't know if I'm gonna come out if you just see him foot tracks. I'm like, no, we got his car here now. We got him blocked in. As soon as we said we had him blocked in, boy, he came here. I guess he wasn't wanting an altercation or anything. So anyway, we got there, and sure enough, they never came out. So he left them a message. So we started leaving, and we saw these 3 little Asian women coming out of our property, and they had these bags around their person, and they had been going through our property looking for these ferns, and it really made me mad. I was like, and what they were doing, they were just driving up and down the road, and they come to a property that has some pine trees, and they thought that fern might be there. They would just park and get out and just go in there and start walking around. So the deputy sheriff chewed them out good, and I didn't send them to jail. You know, I mean, it was kind of irrelevant, but if I catch them again, I told him I was. So anyway, so the last case was we had these guys riding 4-wheelers up and down a road that cuts between our properties. So one day they cut donuts in the road, and they go up in the property, and I'm showing you a video now of one of the little ramps that they like to jump up in the ditch and go into our property. Can you believe that? People going in your property like that? That's one of our best bedding areas for deer too. So anyway, I was driving down here working once, I think it was in August of last year, and I caught them in the road, but I didn't have my video camera. So I followed them back, and I called the sheriff, and the sheriff came out, and it was actually in 2 counties. So the sheriff called another sheriff county deputy. It was 2 deputies, and they went to the guy's house, and I filed a complaint. And the sheriff talked to the guy, and anyway, the sheriff deputies told me I didn't have any actual proof like video. So I told him to just scare them and you know, drop the cases. But anyway, I get up here next weekend, and the gate that was in question, these guys tore up my gate. See how my gate's bent? They literally took their 4-wheeler and pulled it right up to this edge right here and pulled the lock, broke the lock off in the chain and bent my gate. We bent it back, but so anyway, no one's immune to it. These people up here, they know we're out of state. They're also mad because the timber company raises their rates so high, they can't afford them. The only people who can afford them are people out of state. So they know that. And they know when we're here, and they know when we're not here. And you know, we're constantly fighting. Like I said before, we have 11 gates on the property. We're spread out 3 miles. So we've got different pockets of people in different areas. So anyway, I'll keep bringing you case by case as we get them. So the advice I would give you is 3 things. The first one is always have your camera with you, video camera. So if you actually catch them in the act, video. Okay, video. Now, what I tell my members is it's not worth anyone's life, because if somebody's trespassing, hunting, they could have a felon, you know, not supposed to be with a gun. It's not worth anybody's life hunting property. So just stay back, don't be confrontational, just be back. The second thing is when you're talking to the locals, tell them who you are, and tell them, you know, ask them trespassing, you know, tell them all that, but always come out saying, hey, you know, if I catch somebody messing with my property, I'm going to prosecute to the max. You know, I'm tired of it. And then the locals talk to other locals. Maybe you can get a reputation. I'm starting to get a reputation because that guy turned in on the four-wheelers. They broke my gate, but they haven't messed with us in almost a year and a half. So apparently that worked. One day I was sitting in a tree stand and he rode by and he was talking to his buddies. You could hear him cussing. Oh, that's that SOB that turned me in. So apparently they remember who I am. So my reputation is starting to get around. So talk to locals and tell them, you know, we're gonna prosecute if we catch somebody. Plus we have a couple of local neighbors that are really good that help us watch out. And the third thing is when you catch them. Of course, I haven't fulfilled this. When you catch them and you've got proof and the sheriff's deputy says you got them, take them to court. Maximum fine. That way when it gets out, everybody around you will know that guy, hey, we messed with those guys' property, they're going to prosecute. Look what they did to Johnny Ray down there. And that's one of the biggest things I can think of. So, sorry to rant. Got me on a topic that I'm very passionate about. Pisses me off beyond belief. So, thanks for watching Rally Hunt Club. Got more episodes coming up.